Besides the scoring early and late, to withstand that third quarter, how much of that is just defense, rebounding, and that kind of gives you the chance to turn things back?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. You look at their quarters, 19, 15, and 21 in general. That's going to be a successful night for the most part. But when we couldn't score in the third, we only had 12. They had 15, so we were able to sustain it. I think with our defense. But 36-point second half. Other than that 34-point second quarter, I felt good about our effort tonight. A lull here and there, but for the most part, this is our most consistent game on that end to this point.
Was there a particular emphasis in these last 2 days of practice on rebounding and getting that back to where you need?
Yes, we pointed out that we were 30th in the league after 4 games, and so did a few old school rebounding drills, which is hard to emulate in a real game, obviously, but got those in, and it's more so to emphasize it to those guys, get it on their mind, and win the individual battles. So they ended up with 8 offensive rebounds. They were really good in the Laker game and one of the Golden State games on the offensive glass, and so Sabonis is good there. I think it was a focal point for us, and we did better tonight.
Coach, it seems like Alperen has done a better job in terms of in the paint, just protecting himself and as a wall. Just from camp to preseason to now, have you seen any improvement in that area?
Yeah, it's been vast. I think over the 4 games anyway, we really improved. We showed him that on the tape, showed the team that. I think his point up the touch is much better, and that protects him some. It's a little deterrent, so they don't have a head of steam coming downhill at him. And other than a few DHOs with Monk, we were able to kind of wall him off there, and he's doing a good job staying beneath the roller. So doing what we're asking, we're putting the onus on the guards to get through and chase these guys, and it's looking better.
When they cut it to 3 there in the fourth quarter, how big was it for Dillon just to kind of take over in that stretch?
Yeah, it was huge. It was, like carry over from the third, we weren't scoring as well, obviously, and then we just looked for a spark somewhere. And Fred and Jalen were kind of doing their thing here and there, but it's good to get some other offense. Jabari had the first half, and then Dillon just made the hustle plays and effort plays, and obviously hit a few threes late, but he kind of stemmed the tide there until we got it rolling again.
Dillon seems really, or at least in this game, seemed eager to kind of bully some of their smaller guards, initiate post up. Is that something you talked about with him, initiating those kind of mismatches when he has the opportunity?
Yeah, we have some specific sets for him to, take advantage of matchups. Jalen and Fred being our dominant handlers and primary, guys that are in the pick and roll. I think a lot of teams are going to put their main defenders on them, and Dillon will have a mismatch a lot of times. We felt like we didn't take advantage of it the other night with Curry on him, and wanted to do that tonight with Hurt or some, and so put in a few sets the last few days for him to get those easy opportunities.
With Dillon's strength, do you like him as a real straight line driver? It seems like he's really attacking off the catch aggressively.
Yeah, and that's what, you look at your personnel and see what things will work well for them, and those are the actions we have, the backside, DHOs where he can get downhill, and those in the post-ups are things he does naturally.
Are sweeping 7-foot hook shots part of those post-up schemes?
We'd like it to be a little closer, but he does finish some awkward shots. You've seen that throughout his career, and funny as it sounds, he works on a lot of those wild shots, and so see him do it a little bit. He has a little success there.
And just in general tonight, Jalen Green, despite maybe some of the scoring woes, just his playmaking, his decision making, especially there in the fourth quarter, it felt like he did a good job kind of getting the ball to Alpi in the middle of the floor to then break down the defense.
Yeah, and I told him, be patient and just let them, make the right read. He was kind of predetermined, coming off aggressive or looking to pass every time. And I was like, let the game tell you what's going to happen. Let their pickup point and how high the big is, or whether Alpi gets below him. You got to make that read. And so, didn't have it going to a great extent offensively, but made the right plays. And obviously, you get in the paint to Alperen, it collapses everything, and he led to the kick out 3. So, kudos to him for sticking to it and not getting over anxious when he wasn't scoring as much.
How has Alpi been able to avoid fouling?
Avoid fouling?
As much as he has in the past.
Like I said, I think his just being up to touch instead of back in the deep drop protects himself. Us really emphasizing the guards, mixing some unders, to protect them on the non-shooters. But, it's a team effort as far as that, and we don't love when it's a 2-on-1 coming downhill at him. Not the best rim protector, but he does other things well, and so I think just his level, in the pick and roll helps him there.
Can you speak to having a player like Fred VanVleet, who seems to always calm down the other players on the court, especially when you're struggling on offense like you were in the third quarter?
Yes, he was just what he's done throughout his career, and obviously to this point, 5 games this year, he's been a calming influence and another coach on the floor. I call things that I see and I like, but a lot of times let him take it and run with what he sees as well. And so he's been great for us. Trying to get everybody on the same page so when he's out, we can continue to maintain that level. But he's playing heavy minutes and really controlling his scoring and initiating. And so that's what he's here for.
To piggyback off that, I mean, Fred's over just like 5-to-1 assist to turnover ratio through these 5 games now. Are you surprised at all at just how well he's able to kind of facilitate offense and kind of dictate and involve other guys on the floor?
No, not really. I mean, that's what he's done throughout his career. He's always been one of the top, assist to turnover guys in the league. I think it's always been around 3-to-1. But yeah, it's just he knows, he understands where we were in the past and the importance of us getting shots up. Want to get good shots, obviously, but a shot is better than a turnover, obviously. So he does that. Does a good job of probing and finding his guys, but also looking for.
To win this game, but to do it after kind of strong first half, but then to weather that storm in the third and come back in a big way in the fourth. What does it mean to win the game that way?
Just shows our togetherness, shows just how much we trust each other and just trust what coach is teaching us and just trust what's working. We went kind of not cold, but shots wasn't falling like that in the third quarter, but we relied on our defense. We just stayed with it. We knew they wasn't gonna lay down, and we just stuck out the win.
How much of an emphasis has there been the last 2 days and then tonight on rebounding better than you had in the first, not you, but the group had in the first 4 games?
He coach brought up a stat and said we lasted rebounding, so I kind of took that personally, and I'm sure everybody else did, and we tried to make an emphasis to get hits and rebound and be able to get back in transition and get stops.
You said y'all were doing old school rebound drills. What were those drills?
It was just like simple old school rebounding drills, box out, turn around, technique, box out, hit a man, and no secrets. OG said no secrets.
Do you feel like you guys are growing as a team every time you go out there?
For sure, just a new team, learning each other, learning tendencies, just filling each other out on defense, filling each other out on offense, knowing spots and stuff like that. We're just gonna keep growing and keep learning each other.
Speaking of defense, what did you guys do tonight on the defensive side of the ball that kind of helped you guys going up against a team that kind of had y'all numbers last year?
What helped us on the defensive end?
Yeah.
Just effort. That's all it is. Effort, will, technique. They're a big back cutting team. So we try to take that away. Make it hard. We know Sabonis sets great screens, so try to fight through those screens. Just stay deceptive on defensive end. Mix it up. Show different things. Just be physical.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
You guys get through that sort of rough stretch and sort of find yourselves again.
Which one? There's a couple of them.
I was thinking the whole third quarter.
Yeah, third quarter. Yeah, I think you got to be able to fall back on your defense. I think that's why having a foundation is great, especially in this league. There's going to be times where the ball just doesn't want to go in the hoop. We missed so many easy ones and layups and open shots. I think we had a 12-point quarter, but they only had 15. So you got to be able to rely on your defense in those stretches, and I thought that we did that and withstood the run, and then we're able to bounce back and forth.
How satisfying is it to see multiple guys contribute offensively in the game like this?
Well, that's gonna have to be our way all year. It's gonna be a different guy every night. The ball's got to move and find the right guys. It's just an up and down season, as we know, and so having guys, in multiple stretches, making the right plays and creating open looks, as we saw late. Dillon got hot for us, and we were able to kind of ride that out.
Dillon is pretty renowned for his defensive abilities. What do you like about his offensive game?
Oh, he's rolling. He's rolling. He's carried over. He had a great summer, and he's just carried that over throughout this year, and he's got a lot to prove, and we're just happy to have him on our squad, and he's been a bright spot for us all summer, all training camp, and obviously into the season. So we're going to need to rely on him this year, and he came through big for us tonight.
How much personal pride do you take in games when your opponent says a few turnovers?
I'm just focused on getting the wins. There's going to be nights where shots go in, where they don't, where I have great stats, where I don't. But any night you can get out of here with a win is a good night. So I'll take the wins over everything.
Of those 12 dimes, though, which one was your favorite?
I don't know. I got to look at the tape. I don't know. Dillon, I think he hit one late sidestep and talk a little trash after that. That was a nice one, but I don't know. I'm just happy to get out of here with a win.
Coach said when you're out on the court, it's like having another coach out on the floor. Do you think that can be your biggest impact on the team, is being a common influence, especially when you're struggling like in the third quarter?
Yeah, absolutely. Just getting us organized, getting us in the spots. I know things can get a little hectic sometimes, and you know, being a young team, those little runs can feel so big at times. But you know, even if we're up 17 and they make a run, we're still up 7-8 points. You know, it's not a time to overreact and panic. And so, just trying to be a calming influence out there and keep us organized and keep us confident at all times.
People look at Jalen Green as this up-and-coming scoring guard, but what are you seeing from him as a playmaker so far, especially there in that fourth quarter?
I thought he was outstanding. I know, you know, the box score probably doesn't show it. I know he's pissed off about missing the free throws, but I thought he made a lot of great reads tonight. I mean, really, he made every play there late off the pick and roll and kind of baiting the double teams and throwing it to Alpi and letting somebody else make the play. So it's a little more advanced than, you know, what the average eye can see, but he's really coming along and making great reads for us, and you just got to continue to stick with that even when, you know, it's not showing, you know, great numbers on the stat sheet.
Coach talked about you guys went through some old school rebounding drills. What can you share about that?
Yeah, you know, it's just typical box out drills, putting bodies on people. I know, you know, the personal pride we take on the defensive end, the rebounding numbers haven't been great, you know, for us through the first week. And so I'm sure that, you know, we'll continue to do those drills until those numbers show us otherwise. But, you know, just getting back to the basics and, you know, making sure we put an emphasis on coming up with the boards.
How physical did those get?
Physical enough. Physical enough. You know, the point was made. The point was, I don't know what we ended up, you know, rebounding tonight, but it felt like there was a more attention to detail on boxing out and rebounding, and more gang rebound guys getting in there. You know, 5 people getting in the paint and coming up with a board.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Things got pretty rocky first stretch, and then you hit consecutive drives, consecutive threes. Did you have a sense that it was time to kind of look for your shot, see if you could settle things down that way?
Yeah, you always think that, but you know, my teammates, you know, found me in the same spot. I think one came from Jalen's drive, and he dished it out. And then another one came from Fred's extra pass, and you know, that's what we strive for every single day, is to be an unselfish team on the offensive end, so we can find, you know, the best shots possible each and every possession.
You've been shooting threes, I think, at like 65%. But today, most of the scoring was on drives. Is that something you want to show that you have in your game as well?
I got a lot of things to my game. I feel like they're guarding me, you know, pretty close, trying to make me go downhill. I just take what the defense gives me. I just feel lighter out there.
On those kind of straight, you know, kind of line drives off the catch, you seem to have a lot of success there. Is that a way to kind of kickstart this offense, get a lot of guys involved, do you think?
Yeah, guys driving, you know, not to think score, to think pass. Because, you know, we got, you know, from our starting 5, you know, everybody can go get 30 at any given night. It's just realizing that, you know, finding that best shot, finding the easiest shot, you know, works in our favor, gets the defense off balance. And, you know, as you can see, it can be anybody's night. You know, Jabari had it going early. And then, you know, Jalen found his, and Fred ended up finding his. And then, you know, I started hitting shots too. So, you know, you got that array of scoring. You know, it's hard to guard each and every night.
Ime talked about you guys going through some old school rebounding drills. What exactly does that entail?
Boxing out, feel like we were back in college. You know, just finding ways to box out, finding ways to, you know, get, you know, limit their possessions. Just, I guess, understanding that, you know, if teams get offensive rebounds on us, it's just extra possessions for them, and usually they turn into threes. So, you know, we don't want those, especially, you know, with, you know, our switching ability. So, you know, it's stressing to get defensive rebounds.
They run so much of their offense through Sabonis. Does that change any of what you do defensively? Does it give you any more freedom?
You know, not really. I guess, you know, there's going to be a lot of handoffs with him. I think they're the #1 team in dribble handoffs. So just being aware of that, and it kind of helped our defense. and helped LP play him one-on-one more and understanding that he loves his left hand, and I feel like LP did a great job tonight on containing him.
There was a moment where Jalen Green had the and one drive on Davion Mitchell, and right afterwards you kind of went up to him and you talked to him the whole way back to the bench. Kind of what were you talking to him about in that moment? Do you remember?
I was really talking to him about on the defensive end, but Jalen's a special player, future All-Star in this league. His growth is getting better and better each and every day, especially on that defensive end, and he's like a sponge, like he's just learning, every day. So I was just explaining, I don't remember the play exactly, but I was just probably Malik Monk's 3 in the corner, just telling him just to run him off, and he was just lining them up, to sink that 3, and just breaking his rhythm and making him put the ball on the floor.
You blew a kiss to the Kings bench after that step back 3 in the fourth quarter. Were they saying anything to you as you were taking that shot?
No. I think they were being respectable bench over there and following the rules of the NBA. That's just, something that I do, and I don't know, I don't feel like I was blowing it towards them. I feel like I was blowing it towards the crowd.
Thank you.
Thanks.